Hello, everyone. My name is Gabe Fernandez, and welcome to Control Alt Life. This is a podcast where we talk about everyday real life, business, relationships, success, failure, lessons learned the hard way, and everything in between. No politics. Now, today's topic is something that affects almost every single person listening to this podcast: credit. Now, before you tune out because you think this is going to sound like a finance class, I want you to hear me out. Now, this isn't about getting rich. This isn't about impressing people. This isn't about buying things you can't afford. This is about understanding one of the most powerful tools available to the average person. And unfortunately, it's also one of the most misunderstood. Now, I've seen people making six figures a year getting denied on things because their credit was terrible. On the other hand, I've seen people making half that amount get approved because they understood how credit works. I've seen businesses fail because the owner ignored their credit. I've seen families struggle because nobody ever taught them the basics. And honestly, I wish someone had sat me down years ago and explained to me what I'm about to share with you today. Because credit isn't just a number. Credit is an opportunity. Credit is options. Credit is freedom. And when used correctly, it can completely change your life. Nobody teaches this stuff, okay? One thing that has always bothered me is how much time we spend teaching people things they'll never use, but never teach them on how money works. Most people graduate high school knowing very little about credit scores, interest rates, loans, debt, budgeting, investing. Then they get thrown into the adulthood and expect to figure it out. That's like teaching someone how to read, but never teaching them what the words actually mean. A lot of people destroy their credit before they even understand what credit is. Not because they're irresponsible, but because nobody taught them. And then they spend years trying to fix mistakes they didn't even fully understand in the first place. What is credit? A lot of people think credit is money. It's not. Credit is trust. That's it. It's trust. A credit score is simply a measurement of how trustworthy lenders believe you are. Okay? Think about it this way. If a friend asks you to borrow $100 and has always paid you back before, you're probably going to lend it to him again, right? If another friend still owes you money from 5 years ago, you're probably going to think twice. Banks do the exact same thing. They're trying to determine one thing. Can we trust this person to pay us back? Your credit score tells that story. Not who you are, not whether you're a good person, not whether you're intelligent. It simply tells a lender how you've handled and borrowed money in the past. Now, there is a cost to bad credit. Let me tell you something. A lot of people don't realize this, but bad credit is expensive, very expensive. Two people can buy the exact same truck at the same dealership on the same day at the same price. The person with good credit might pay thousands less over the life of the loan. Thousands. For the exact same vehicle. The difference isn't income. The difference isn't intelligence. The difference is credit. That's why credit matters, because bad credit quietly taxes your life. You pay more for vehicles, homes, insurance, business loans, credit cards. Sometimes you don't even get approved at all. Now, credit can also change your business. As many of you know, I own a business, okay? And the one thing that I've learned is this: business credit and personal credit matter a lot. When you're trying to grow a business, opportunities are always going to show up. You may need a vehicle, equipment, inventory, office space, working capital, whatever it is that you need. Now, the problem is opportunities don't always wait until you have cash sitting in the bank. Sometimes you need financing. Sometimes you need a line of credit. Sometimes you need equipment loans. And if your credit isn't in good shape, those opportunities disappear. I've seen business owners lose contracts simply because they couldn't get the financing fast enough. Not because they weren't good at what they do, but because they ignored their credit. Credit is not an emergency tool. One mistake people make is they wait until they need credit before caring about the credit. It's backwards. Credit is built before you need it, not when you need it. Imagine trying to buy a homeowner's insurance while your house is already on fire. It's too late, right? Credit works the same way. You don't build credit during the emergency, you build it before the emergency even happens. That way, when life punches you in the face, and it will, you have options. My biggest lesson about money is this. One lesson I've learned over the years is that cash solves today's problems. Credit helps solve tomorrow's problems. And you need both. People who focus only on cash sometimes ignore credit. People who focus only on credit ignore cash. The healthiest position is having both, okay? Cash reserves and strong credit, because life is so unpredictable. Business is unpredictable. Health is unpredictable. Having both gives you that flexibility to pretty much dance in the middle, you know? Now, the danger of buying things to look successful. Now, here's where I'm probably going to make some people a little uncomfortable. A lot of people destroy their credit trying to look successful. They buy things because they want other people to think that they're doing well. The newest phone, the newest vehicle, designer clothes, expensive jewelry, luxury items, not because they need them, but because they want to impress people. Now, here's the truth. Most people aren't impressed. And the people who are impressed don't really matter at all. Now, meanwhile, you're making payments every month, trying to maintain an image. And I've said it before on this podcast. The richer someone looks doesn't always mean that they're rich. Sometimes it means they're drowning in debt. Real wealth is peace. Real wealth is freedom. Real wealth is not worrying about every bill. And real wealth, it just feels very, very comfortable. Credit cards are not the enemy. Some people think that credit cards are evil. They're not. Credit cards are tools. A hammer can build a house. A hammer can also break a window. The tool isn't the problem. The person using it determines the outcome, okay? Credit cards can help build excellent credit, but only if you use them responsibly. The problem happens when people start treating credit cards like income. They're not income, they're debt. If you're spending money today, that future you has to pay it back tomorrow. That's debt. And debt becomes dangerous when it becomes a lifestyle. I want to tell you a story. Now, when each one of my kids turned 18, what I did was I went on the Capital One, and you can do this with any credit card, I think. Well, what I did was as soon as they turned 18, I went on Capital One and I set them up an account. And then I gave them $500 towards a secured credit card. Okay. Now, by this time, my kids had a job. They've been working since they were 16. So what I told them was, okay, you have bills right now, and your bills are your cell phone, your gas, your portion of your insurance on your vehicle and your vehicle, right? So what I told them was, I want you to use your credit card to pay your bills up to $500. And then when you get paid, I want you to pay it back. And I want you to keep that going every month, every month, every month. Okay. Now, I did that for them because I wanted to show them how credit actually worked. And then next thing you know, they would come back and say, hey, Capital One just sent me a text message or an email saying that they upped my credit limit and I no longer need a secured credit card. And then it went on from there. Now, I did all of this because I've made a lot of mistakes with credit. I remember, we would get that Sears card and go get pictures made and go buy clothes and tires and, just max it out and never have the intention of paying it back. Now, keep in mind, me and my wife, we got married when I was 15 years old. Okay. And, so nobody taught us how credit worked. We had to learn the hard way. And with owning this business, well, let's just say that since 2014, I've been playing catch up. Now, we've had some good times and we've had some bad times. And if you're watching this podcast, you might say, Gabe, are you practicing what you preach? Well, I'm trying my best, but I'm also making sure other people don't make the mistakes that I made. So when you overextend yourself, that's where problems start to happen. Okay. You're trying to cover by robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And a while ago, I discussed how credit can haunt you in the future, right? Owning a business is not easy. Managing your credit and owning a business is not easy. So what you have to do is remember your credit score tells a story of who you are. Sometimes you just have to lay down all your priorities and say, okay, this needs to get paid. This can't be paid right now. But as long as you have that intention to pay it back, then your credit will work like a cycle. Okay. Now, there is an emotional side of credit. Nobody talks about this enough. Credit problems are emotional. When your credit is bad, it affects more than your finances. Stress levels, relationships, sleep. It affects even your confidence. I've seen people trapped because they believed that there was no way out. The collection calls, the rejection letters, the embarrassment, the frustration, it wears on people substantially. But here's what I've learned. Almost every financial problem can be fixed with enough time, discipline, and consistency. Almost everyone. The key is deciding you're going to start. Stop blaming your past. Maybe you've made mistakes. We all have. Like I just shared with you, I have. Most of us have. Maybe you've had a repossession, collections, late payments, medical bills, business failures. Life happens, okay? But you can't build a better future by constantly staring at your past. At some point, you have to say, that happened, or this is happening. I learned from it. Now, I am going to move forward. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Now, the power of small habits. Let's get into this a little bit. A lot of people think improving credit requires some huge financial miracle. It usually doesn't. It starts with a small habit, paying on time, keeping balances low, communicating with creditors, creating a budget, living below your means. You remember that one? Consistency beats intensity every single time. It's just like losing weight, just like growing a business, just like improving a marriage. Small daily habits eventually create massive results. Now, what good credit really buys? Most people think good credit buys things. I disagree. Good credit buys options. That's real value. Options. When opportunity appears, you can act. When emergencies happen, you have that flexibility. When your business needs equipment, you have choices. When your family needs help, you have resources. Credit isn't about buying stuff. Credit is about creating options, and options create freedom. Here's the biggest credit myth. People think wealthy people don't use credit. Many successful people use credit all the time. The difference is they use credit strategically. They don't use credit emotionally. They don't use credit to impress people. They use it as a financial tool. Now, that's a huge difference. What I'm teaching my kids, if I can teach my kids one financial lesson, it would be this: protect your credit like you protect your reputation. Okay? Because rebuilding either one takes time. A good reputation opens doors, good credit opens doors. A bad reputation closes doors, bad credit closes doors. Both matter, both require consistency, and both take years to build or fix. But, like what we said a while ago, it's about the progress. Now, for business owners, if you're listening and you're a business owner, I want you to hear this. Your personal credit matters, your business credit matters, your reputation matters, your cash flow matters. All four work together. Okay? They all work together. You can be great at your trade and still fail financially. My banker tells me this all the time. He says, Gabe, you're the best at what you do, but you're horrible at running a business. That's why I hire people to do that for me, and they're doing a great job. You can be the best technician, the best contractor, the best consultant, the best salesperson, but if you ignore the financial side, eventually it's going to catch up. Learn it, study it, understand it, because financial literacy is every bit as important as the technical skill. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Pull your credit report next month, or maybe do it now. The sooner the better, not next year. Let's say this week. Know where you stand. If it's good, protect it. If it's bad, improve it. If it's excellent, keep it that way. Don't avoid it. Face it. Because you can't improve what you're unwilling to look at. Credit isn't about impressing people. It's not about buying things you can't afford. It's not about pretending to be successful. Credit is about responsibility. It's about preparation. It's about creating opportunities for yourself and your family. The people who understand credit have more options, and the people with more options usually have more freedom. So start today. One payment, one habit, one step at a time. Because 5 years from now, you'll either be glad that you started or you wish you had. Thank you for listening to Control Alt Life. My name is Gabe Fernandez. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, take care of your finances. And remember, life is hard enough. Let's not add to the headaches. If we do better, things will get better. I'll see you next time.